Plane tickets are booked, a one-way flight to Barcelona, Spain, and a return flight departing from Naples, Italy in 2 weeks. Together with that, I have a 2-week flexible interrail ticket that allows me free train travel in the region. But with nothing else booked or planned, everything that happens in the next 2 weeks between Barcelona and Naples is up to the universe to decide. Sounds pretty fun and easy, right? No. Over the next 2 weeks, I will be solo traveling and arriving in a new city or town almost every single night, having to book a new accommodation every day. At one point on the journey, I would be guided by Google Maps to bike down a highway, struggling to make it to the train station in time, and I might have ended up on hospital grounds.
Just went by a fire in the middle of the road. This is a hospital.
At other points of the journey, I would be struggling with decision fatigue, leading to the fear of missing a better option when making any tiny decision. I would also experience a small amount of isolation, struggling to connect with fellow travelers in the off-season, with most of the people in the hostels being at least twice my age. At other points of the trip though, I would feel happier than I ever had in my entire life, hiking one of the most scenic trails in Italy with a few dudes I met at a hostel and waking up in the most beautiful and remote Italian fishing village. I'd also meet an illegal immigrant whom I ended up talking with for hours. The series has taken the better part of 2 years to edit, and this trip is the beginning of my travels, which introduced me to what traveling the world is really like. This is episode 0, and for every single episode from now on, the editing and the story are only gonna get better. I started by making my way to the small Danish town, where Lego was actually founded 90 years ago, and I boarded my plane to Barcelona. I made it to the Mediterranean coast, which I was gonna travel along over the next 2 weeks, and I flew over the Pyrenees mountain range where I had hiked last summer with my dad and my brother, and then I landed in Barcelona. I had finally made it to Barcelona, and after a stressful week at work, it was kind of overwhelming to suddenly be in a completely different country with another culture, even if it was just Spain. But I made my way to the hostel and got checked in. I went outside to see the sunset and got a quick bite before going to sleep. What I didn't know about the hostel before checking in was that it was a silenced hostel where you were not allowed to make any noise at any hour of the day because of people sleeping in the day because of jet lag. This obviously made it quite difficult being social, and overall I actually wasn't really feeling the travel spirits, and I was heading to bed. But before I did that, I had one big, very important question to ask.
After traveling on interrail for 2 weeks, there was one question that I just couldn't get out of my head. If you're supposed to wash your hands for like at least 20 seconds, why does it always run out like in 5 seconds? Don't understand.
With that question still unanswered, I headed to bed. I woke up the next morning and I was completely freezing cold. Alright, new day, let's go in the metro and explore the city. I got on a bus and I made my way up to this beautiful castle overlooking the whole city. This mountain and castle is just incredible, but I really don't have a lot of time. I booked a visit to a church and I have to leave in like 10 minutes, but look at this view. That's just absolutely incredible. I think I'll have to come back here maybe tomorrow morning before I leave Barcelona. I then discovered this cable car. Oh man. I do have a bit of a fear of heights, Pretty good views though. Also a bit expensive, 10 euros, but I think it's worth it. Well, this is very cool. I think that's the church I'm going to now. Alright, now I just have to get to the metro. And there it was, Sagrada di Familia, the church that's been under construction since 1882 and which are set to be finished in just 2 years. I've been to so many churches all around Europe, and at a certain point they just kind of seem a bit too similar, but visiting Sagrada was just something completely different. It was just modern, but at the same time almost 150 years old. It was just special. And that's coming from someone who's not even religious. I did actually sit down just to meditate though. Alright, let's get out of here. I realized that I didn't have anything to eat today yet, but I got that sorted at a very nice cafe, and now I'm at the Arc de Triomphe of Barcelona. But it's so relaxing just walking around the city. The weather is just perfect, at least compared to what I'm used to. It's about 20 degrees outside, so it's just very relaxing to walk around. I think I made it to the back side of a basilica called Basilica Santa Maria del Mar. I'm just walking a bit around, getting lost on purpose in this Gothic quarter. But the thing about this quarter was that on almost every street you went down, there would be someone playing live music. Alright, let's get back on the metro now. I wanted to go on top of this mountain. It's the highest one in Barcelona, so I got on the metro and got off at the last stop. To get on top of the mountain, I still had to take a bus though, so I spent about 15 minutes trying to figure out whether or not my public transport ticket would cover this part of the city. In the end, I gave up and I decided to go to another place.
Can I come behind you? It's because I just passed it, but I went back.
Oh, yeah. I'm not really sure whether or not this person was trying to get a free ride or if he actually was telling the truth. But as you can see, I got back on the metro. Alright, now I just had to hike up another mountain to get to a very famous park on top of it. But as luck would have it, when I finally made it up to the park, it turned out you had to buy a ticket and they were completely sold out for the day. And now I'm just sitting on a bench trying to figure out what to do. But I'm quite tired after all that, so I think I'm gonna go up the mountain I was on at the start of the day. It is an hour away though. Wow, didn't realize I could have just taken an escalator up. Alright, I made it back up the castle and I was actually considering going inside, but it was 12 euros. I'm not paying 12 euros to get in right now. I've spent enough already today. Also, I think they might have been just about to close. So I just enjoyed the sunset and the views of the city, and then I filmed some stuff for work. It became very cold very quickly though. I could also see the mountain that I failed to get up on earlier today. Look at this view. That's amazing, and this sunset. And now it just went down behind that mountain. Alright, I just finished filming something for work and I think I'm about to head down the mountain again now and get some dinner because I am so hungry right now. I haven't actually eaten anything else than a carrot cake today. Yep, this carrot cake. How do I always forget to eat while I'm traveling? This always happens. Alright, let's get some dinner then. I headed down the cable car again, got on the metro, and then I had some Spanish patatas bravas at a bar. I then headed back to my hostel for one final night in Barcelona. That one was way too packed.